The Board of Trustees of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund Nigeria, Tetfund, this Wednesday commenced a 3-day board retreat with the theme Consolidating Tetfund as a Model Intervention Agency for Nigeria's Knowledge Economy. Tetfund is an interventionist agency of the federal government of Nigeria, which was created out of necessity due to pressure from different groups in the country, particularly the Academic Staff Union of Universities. Following the swath of reforms in Nigeria public service, and indeed some African countries, a lot of ministries and agencies were created, amongst which is Tetfund, charged with the responsibility of resuscitating, restoring, and consolidating education in Nigeria. Since then, the fund has undergone several changes in terms of its name, mandate, and focus. From Education Trust Fund, ETF, which the agency was called at inception in 1993 and charged with the responsibility of intervening at all levels of education in Nigeria, to Education Trust Fund in 1998, its mandate was to use 2% of education tax charged on accessible profit of all registered companies in Nigeria to redress the rot in the education sector in Nigeria. However, in 2011, the mandate of the fund was adjusted by the government, restricting its intervention to tertiary levels of education in the country, namely universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education, for maximum impact. The impact assessment of the agency's intervention reveals its scope of operations as contained in its enabling laws of 1993 and 1998, only allows for thinly spread impact. Since 2011, thereafter, the fund has come up with various programs of interventions that would promote excellence in scholarship and research. This fund has 13 intervention lines and annually disburses funds to 213 tertiary institutions in the country with the aim of creating a conducive environment for teaching and learning. So far, the fund has spent close to 1.5 trillion naira on its interventions. Those interventions are contextual and based on the needs of the beneficiaries and necessities like natural disasters, epidemics like COVID-19, for example, both in the form of providing funding for physical infrastructure, equipment, and content. Standing out among these intervention lines are the tertiary academic staff training and development, manuscript development, conference attendance, and finally, research and development, which is the main area of focus of the fund for now. With the reinstatement of Professor Suleiman Elias Bogoro, the fund has redefined and expanded its scope of interventions towards content, especially in the areas of research and innovation and manuscript development, which are key to the technological development of any nation. Thus, he's been called the apostle of the institutionalization of research and innovation in Nigeria, using the triple helix model, which links government, academia, and industry towards purposeful and problem-solving research. Nigeria stands a chance to be globally competitive in this era of knowledge economy. Already the fund has cashed on the COVID-19 pandemic to challenge researchers in the academia to come up with breakthrough on vaccines for the cure of the dreaded disease, and it has set aside resources towards that. In recognition of this stride, the federal government of Nigeria has domiciled the headquarters of research on COVID-19 in the fund. No wonder, therefore, the theme of the Fund's Board of Trustees 2020 annual retreat is Consolidating Tetfund as a Model Intervention Agency of Nigeria's Knowledge Economy.
The annual retreat of the Board of Trustees of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, Tetfund, has commenced Wednesday in Abuja, Nigeria. Speaking at the opening ceremony, Chairman of the Board, Alhaji Kashim Ibrahim Imam, said the board will continue to build on what it has achieved and improve the management of the fund's interventions in tertiary institutions, while scaling up the provision of fit-for-purpose infrastructure, result-oriented research, and cutting-edge technology.
We'll look at the key critical sectors that requires our intervention in the areas of infrastructure as usual, as well as research and scholarship.
Executive Secretary of the Fund, Professor Suleiman Elias Bogoro, remarked that one of the fundamental partnerships that is consistent with global practices is the tripod partnership between the academia, industry, and government. He said the fund, under his administration, has experienced a major paradigm shift in favor of research and excellence in universities across the country. In addition to the 12 Tetfund Centers of Excellence already approved by the board in each of the 6 geopolitical zones, it will be expanded to include more universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education by 2021.
We announced it in the media recently. Tetfund, the Board of Trustees approved that we established Tetfund Centers of Excellence. For a long time in this country, you only heard about African Centers of Excellence, World Bank funded, which NUC houses and manages and regulates. Tetfund is the first within this country to have put up 12 Centers of Excellence at a go. And that is 2 universities in each of the 6 geopolitical zones. We hope to have additional universities as Centers of Excellence next year. And the following years, polytechnics will come on. We need to have Centers of Excellence in our polytechnics. We need to have Centers of Excellence in our colleges of education.
The 3-day annual retreat with the theme Consolidating Tetfund as a model intervention agency for Nigeria's knowledge economy will be held partly by physical attendance and the other half a virtual conference. Also expected at the 3-day event and lead speaker Professor Hafiz Abubakar, former trustee Northwest Tetfund and former Deputy Governor Kano State. Also expected to speak Professor Ogugwa Awo, the Chairman Tetfund Technical Advisory Group, is expected to present a paper on the role and the future of Technical Advisory Group in strengthening the content development mandate of Tetfund. Details of their presentation will be in a subsequent bulletin.